ฝากกดติดตามและกดไลค์กดแชร์ CBN Thailand
When Cody Burns' SUV was rear-ended by a truck, the vehicle exploded. First responders at the scene immediately assumed the accident was a fatality until one of them spotted a sign of life in the middle of the raging flames.
May 31st, 2013. A truck traveling over 60 miles per hour rear-ends an SUV at a traffic light. First responders arrived to find the SUV engulfed in flames.
I really, right then, believed that it was going to be a fatality.
The victim was 23-year-old children's pastor and performer, Cody Burns.
You could see a hand hanging out of the vehicle, and to be honest, we'd automatically assumed it's probably going to be a body recovery.
But as firefighters struggled to douse the flames,
I seen his hand move, and I immediately turned and ran back to the truck and told the crews that, hey, he's still alive. It turned into a rescue instead of a recovery, so, we've got to pick this up.
Now they were battling the flames and the clock. It took an hour to pull Cody from the wreckage and load him on a waiting chopper.
I cried. I don't think there was a dry eye of any of the firefighters on that scene. This was probably the bravest rescue I've ever witnessed in my career.
Sheriff Hill went to Cody's home to inform his parents about the accident.
He said, Cody's been in a bad accident and he's been life-flighted. And so my heart just sunk at that moment.
Jan and her husband rushed to the hospital where Cody's two brothers and grandmother met them. They learned Cody had severe burns and needed to be transferred to the Richard M. Fairbanks Burn Center in Indianapolis, about 2.5 hours away.
They wouldn't let us see Cody right away. They put us in a little side room, so immediately you're thinking the worst.
Once Cody was stabilized, the family was taken to see him.
It was devastating to see him the first time. We prayed over him, and then they put him on the life flight, and they flew him to Indianapolis at that point.
The Burn Center director, Dr. Rajiv Sood, assessed Cody's condition. Cody had fourth-degree burns that, in some places, had gone to the bone.
He had very significant burns, over 40% of his total body surface area. There was a inhalation injury component. When patients who have burns sustain a lung injury, they have 3 times the chance of not making it.
Jan and her family arrived at the hospital to find Cody deeply sedated.
We were just kind of numb, and it was just hard to take in. I just felt like I was having a nightmare, and I didn't know how to pray. I didn't even know what to say.
But their church and Facebook friends around the world were praying for Cody's strength and healing. Soon, the doctors were confident Cody would survive, but the road ahead would be painful and uncertain. In the coming weeks, Cody would endure numerous surgeries to remove dead tissue and graft on new.
The surgeries involved in burn care they are pretty awful. It really conceptually involves removing layers of skin first, and then fat as needed, and muscle or whatever is burnt, really. There were repeated episodes of infection.
There was also the chance Cody wouldn't regain full use of his limbs. While grateful her son would live, Jan now feared for his future in ministry.
He always, at an early age, had a drive and a vision to serve God, and that continued to grow as he got older.
But that wasn't all he could lose.
They told me they were going to have to probably amputate 3 of his fingers, and I'm like, you can't. He juggles. You can't do that. Feeling like I was in a dream, I also felt a peace, knowing, and I know that was from others praying.
Through those prayers and the skill of his doctors, Cody lost none of his fingers and began improving every day. After almost 4 weeks, he was breathing on his own with no permanent damage to his lungs. But as he came out of sedation, Cody struggled to face his new reality.
When they would unwrap my hands, I was devastated because I could actually see my bones, parts where the flesh had been burnt off. It took a long time before I really fully understood the extent of my injuries. My heart was broke because I knew that I would probably never be able to do the things that I once loved to do.
Over the next several months, Cody endured more surgeries and physical therapy. He also wrestled with depression, but says his faith saw him through.
God didn't do this to me but he allowed it to happen because he could trust me. He knew that with him being my strength, he could trust and know that Cody Burns is going to be able to take this tragic event, turn it around, and make it into something beautiful. But it's only with his strength and with him guiding me and helping me.
Cody is back brightening the lives of others as a performer and motivational speaker.
He had a vision of, hey, I'm going to get back to ministry and I'm going to get back to, juggling and spreading the word with just a different sort of message, which was actually more powerfully delivered in his case after injury.
He was like off the charts on his juggling before. To see him do it now is even so much more meaningful because I know what he went through. And to see him raise his hands now and give God glory is just overwhelming. I'm just so thankful.
Jesus lets us know that, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, he's overcome the world. And so I cling to him. He is my rock, he is my strength, he is my hope. He's the reason I exist and I continue to move forward.